clear outside of the village, because we're not speaking for inside the village because we don't have jurisdiction there. But in the township, it's definitely not well, I have this house, and now that I can make it whatever I want, I'm just going to push it over and go to a big warehouse, have heavy industrial. You just wouldn't be able to do that. It would have to go through a process.
Right. And a good example of one of the things, someone wanted to sell some baked goods from their home, and that was out in the township. And now that allowed them to apply to the health department and do what they needed to do so they could sell baked goods out of their home.
Okay.
It's that kind of stuff. And actually, aren't they putting limits on it? There's some things that you cannot do.
Oh yeah, there are limits that you can't even apply for certain types of
It
business.
limits it to a certain size, under a certain size. Anything above that would have to go to extra step to even think about getting approved or anything.
Yeah, but they aren't allowed to do things that would be like a hazardous material or cause a problem in our environment. So it's really restricting. It's really just giving just township residents a chance to do a small business out of their home. Maybe it's computers or, something like that.
Okay.
But it's definitely not in the village at all. We have no right to be in the village on anything.
Okay.
Except for you do have a right to elect us trustees.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird. Yeah, it's kind of.
It's only like 3 places in the state of Ohio that are this way, where the village is surrounded by the township. And we only have jurisdiction over you on certain things because you have your own village council, you have your own zoning, which that would be your zoning.
Right.
All of those belong to the village, not to the township.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know this since we're talking about it. The fire department is kind of managed and the funds trickle through us, even though the fire department sits in the village.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to note too. So yeah.
Okay.
Thank you
It
for
gets-
your concern. We
appreciate
very
that.
much appreciate you
And
coming.
you should go on Facebook and correct those people.
That's what I kind of.
No, that's fine. Please.
I didn't
call.
recognize you. I
I
apologize.
said, I know she does every day.
Yeah, nice to see you again.
Oh, thanks. I'm Paula Crass. I live in the village. And I was kind of wondering, I heard something on the news that they were supposed to be paving something from the township limits to the village limits. They are paving in different places in Stark County.
That's the
Okay.
county, yes.
And Osnaburg Township or East Canton is something's gonna get paved. Maybe I misunderstood it, but
You probably didn't. I sat in a meeting and I think Stu was there too.
Yeah,
Is there
I think Stark County is paving or resurfacing part of Indian Run, and I think they said part of Orchard View. Could be out farther or down towards 40.
And I also think they might be doing something on Broadway. I'm not
Yes,
sure.
but it might be farther out because that's all brand new for us, clear to Georgetown and on the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah.
So I think they're going out farther, like going towards Bus Corner or something.
Oh, look,
you know.
Brian's got the paperwork from the meeting.
Okay.
yeah, because there was different areas in Stark County.
Yeah, there wasn't much going on in our township really.
Yeah.
We are getting a bridge ripped out, but they didn't tell us they were doing it.
And we
That's
do
nice.
have.
It's nice to be informed.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
We
why
do
we're
have
going to
we do have a road project going through a grant, which is it's Paris, Osnaburg, and Nimishillen.
Yeah.
The road, Parks Avenue, goes through all 3 entities. And so we have a grant we're writing to help resurface that. And I learned this. I didn't know this as a township trustee until I was here. It's kind of good to know, and Stu kind of taught me this. If there's lines on the road, it's not our road. So a lot of there are county roads, there's state roads. If you're driving down a road and there's lines on it, it's not our road. We're not responsible for it.
Okay.
See, a lot of
Push
people
snow.
think that all the roads inside our township is township roads.
They're not.
There's
Yeah,
county and
there's-
state, and both county and state have lines on their roads.
Yeah.
So if you're on a road with the lines, it's a county or a state road.
Yeah.
And there's private roads off of Sindel and
Oh, yeah.
Driveways.
Yeah.
Yep. With
Yeah.
multiple homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking here at it. It says State Route 172, but it's in Paris Township, so it's out real far.
Maybe that's.
There's a lot of, like,
There wasn't too much going on here.
I didn't really see
There's
anything that was going to affect East Canton.
Well, I'm just,
Well, and as we're talking roads, just since I have you, one of the roads that's been a kind of a road that's kind of, we've talked a lot about is Osnaburg. So Osnaburg Road is a little road that ties Wood Street over to 30. And it's a little,
By the old brickyard.
pretty beat up
oh,
road.
yeah,
Yes.
oh, yeah.
So that road is in,
I
yeah,
didn't
you know that.
I didn't know
If you're
that.
missing
I just
teeth,
know
you
it.
drove on that road. But
No, I've never
that-
driven on it.
that
Don't
road,
drive on it.
yeah, don't drive it. We have been very cautious to spend taxpayers' dollars on that road because Route 30 is going to completely take that road out.
Right.
Except for down by
Except-
the. brick.
So it'll be a cul-de-sac. It'll be a cul-de-sac road way down
Coming
closer
off
to 30.
Okay.
So they're gonna dead end
Yeah.
that road.
So if somebody says, "What's
Oh.
the township doing about that road?" It's a great question. If we put a bunch of taxpayers' dollars in that road and then 3 years later they tear it
Yeah,
out, that's just bad
We're being
practice.
very
Right.
conservative watching our dollars.
Yeah.
Are they running Route 30? Are they gonna
So they're not
move
completely
it
funded
on
yet.
to
Actually,
Columbiana?
No, it's only gonna go to 44 for right now.
Um,
I mean, they wanna go clear to Route
They're,
11.
they're trying to go clear to Columbiana. Right now, they have partial funding to get it
to get it to
to
40.
44,
Oh,
which where 44 meets 30 there, that's where I said they're putting a
They'll put a
roundabout,
roundabout
which
in.
we totally opposed
Right.
because it's a baby roundabout.
But they won't.
oh.
But
It's a what?
It's
It's a baby
yeah, It's gonna have
round.
semis on it.
They said it's gonna be the biggest roundabout in the state of Ohio.
There is, I don't know, where you heard that from?
I heard it
I mean,
too.
that
I
very
mean,
big
heard a
thing out
factual
there.
document
That-
on it.
But there's been arguments about it because we get lots of
Biggest
semis, a lot of oil and
roundabout.
gas rigs.
Yeah.
But they say they put in these traversable curbs, which sets the semi up on its side like this while it's going around. So the route that was approved crosses over Orchard Street, which is why it's getting closed,
Osnaburg.
or Osnaburg Street. And then it goes up into where the demolition site is. And that's where, at the end of 44, up in there, they're going to ramp it. And then they're gonna pick the road both ways along the demolition site's border property. It'll be on the demolition site. And to 172 into 30 and have stop signs.
Oh.
And that's where they're gonna do the roundabout.
And that's if they can get funding. How close are they, do you know?
I don't know. They have half the funding to get it down to 44, but the state just denied them the other
Yeah,
half.
it's a lot of money.
But they do have a private entity that's working on it. What they're doing is they're looking at, I don't know if they're leasing or how they're doing it, but companies that want to lay a lot of fiber optic wires to bring more Wi-Fi or through, they're going to pay money to use that state's road right away to lay that wire.
Oh.
That's one of the ways they're doing it. So I don't know what else is going to happen. At least that's the proposed ways.
Okay.
If you really want to know, Richard Regula is one of the ones that's at the county level. I just am there representing Osnaburg, so.
So I'd have to go down to the county commissioners meeting and.
Oh, and I would just send him an email or call him.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't go down.
Well, I
You could go
yeah,
down there.
Unless you're
sometimes
looking
I
for
like
something
to
to
go to see what's going
I
on.
know, it's good to be in the know, for
But
sure.
we have monthly meetings on that extension, and I just got the notice that the meeting was canceled for this month.
Oh,
So it'll be next month again before it happens.
Paula, anything else to add?
no.
Okay,
I'll sit down.
Thank you.
Thank you
No,
for
it's
asking those
fine.
questions, Paula.
absolutely. And sir, would you like to speak or no?
No, I thought you had to sign it, sorry.
Oh, no, that's
I
fine.
just happened to listen to this fellow.
That's great. Sounds good. All right, next up, we have John.
Jay.
Oh, I'm sorry, is that wrong?
Jay, so.
Jay, I apologize.
Hey,
Jay.
no
I
problem.
have it on here as John. I
Yeah.
apologize.
No problem.
Jay,
Thank you very much. My name is Jay Settle. I'm with Aspen Energy. Haven't been up here since 22, I believe, last time that we did the electric aggregation contract. So
Were you down at the conference?
I was, yeah. Yeah, we've got a booth at the OTA annual each year.
Yeah.
There in Columbus. So if you guys go again and see us, please stop by. Would love to be able to catch up on. But yeah, it's been a while, so I just basically wanted to come back, get in front of you all, kind of give you an update on where we're at with the program, where the term is, our pricing, market information, and just kind of where we're moving going forward.
Yeah.
So we did a 4-year deal last time, 7.95 cents. It was right at the beginning of the Ukraine situation, and we came in. There was really the whole world was in a weird place with energy at that point in time. So you guys made the decision, hey, let's take this long.
Yeah.
Let's do a 4-year, and you made a great decision. There's not many communities out there that went that long at that point in time, and you guys did a great job. 7.95 cents has saved people a ton of money. I just asked Dynegy, the supplier of the aggregation for the savings over the term. It's saved $205,000 for the community over this time, and we were able to get a $60,000 civic grant as well for you as part of the process. So it's been a super successful program. We also have the website set up that I worked with Brian on, where folks type in their information. It comes to me as an email with all their information that I need. I call them back and we get them enrolled. So, not only is this a successful program, it also is pretty streamlined, and we try and handle it and give it a personal touch as well by taking care of folks, answering questions. So we're always available for that.
Okay. So when does our contract expire?
It's December 26th. So we've got some time. I don't think we need
Are we
to.
contracted a whole time? I thought we had 2 years and a 2-year extension.
So yes, it is out to December 26th.
Okay.
So the utility rates, it looks like this summer in June, are supposed to go above 10 cents. I'm hearing 10.44 for the first energy territory. So at 7.98, I mean, that's a pretty considerable savings. That's better than 20% savings. And again, anytime folks want to shop this and go out on their own and do it, they're free to. Just to give you kind of an idea, I know there's a lot of competitors out there.
Right.
We just went through an RFP process with City of Shaker Heights, who we handle, and we went up against a couple of the larger councils, Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, as well as Sustainable Ohio Public Energy Council, and we actually bid through them as well. They bid through us. So if you guys have any interest next time around in looking at different options like that, like intergovernmental agencies, we can do that for you and price it through them. However, on Shaker Heights, Dynegy won, and they won by quite a bit. It was 9.49 cents is what they ended up getting. So it gives you an idea of a
For how long?
City. They just went 12 months.
Oh, okay.
The
9.99 for 12 months.
9.49.
9.49.
It is a green program, so it's a little bit different. They got to pay a little bit more to have green energy.
Okay.
But NOPEC came in at like 9.7 something. Sustainable Ohio Public Energy Council came in at like 10.2. So, the supplier you guys have right now, it was the low bid on that one as well. So I think the program is successful. We really, try and handle each call, each contact that we get with each individual to make sure that everybody, feels educated on the process, that we help, hold their hand and walk them through the bills, any questions at all with the market. But energy markets prices right now are really, really high. So where you guys are at, I'd sit tight. If we did something now for a December start, it'd be really high. I mean, you'd probably be looking at 9.5 plus for a December 26 start. And while energy markets and the standard service offers are so high right now, I think eventually they'll probably trickle back down. I think drill baby drill at the federal level is probably going to help energy eventually with lifting some regulations, which trickles down into electricity as well, as gas and electric are really, really close, so we follow the gas market for electricity pricing. So I think eventually we'll probably be able to get a better offer than we could today. So I think you guys are in a good position. I'm always here. Anytime you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions anybody has anytime.
When do we meet again for the December 26th? Like how early do we have to meet to be able to get something in place?
So ideally what we would do is we would get something put in place from you all, that you would pass a resolution that would allow you to enter into contract when terms are favorable. Right now with energy markets moving, I've been doing this stuff for 19 years. I've never seen the volatility be this high as it is right now. We'll see the market drop 30 cents one day, very next day up 40 cents. So, I mean, it's incredible. So it makes it really hard for us to come one evening, have a price, and then make sure that the next day we can book it. Like it's a real issue for us. So
do they already hold their auction?
Yeah. So they've been doing auctions. Each year they do the auctions, and they actually have a couple of them a year. It depends on the utility, but here behind, this is Ohio Ed territory, correct? So Ohio Ed, they do it a couple times a year. I think it's November and March is what they typically do.
AEP, is that what you mean, Ohio Ed?
AEP, this is AEP. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I know it's kind of tight. Some of these areas here in Stark, most
eight. I think we're most of us are 8.
Okay. All right. So AEP Ohio does a couple different auctions. They've held auctions where they did auctions for this term. They did like 25% for 25 to 26. They did like 25% from 25 to 27, and then another 25% from 25 through 28. And they're all above 9 cents just for energy and a couple of the other components. So we're looking at like over 10 cents. I just would hate to lock in today at 9.95, 9.6, and then have the market come back down, and then they blend those together, and we're sitting at 9 cents, and folks are paying more than the utility.
The numbers you're telling me, if we're at 79.95, we need to ride that as long as we can.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. What we could do though is we could always procure for the future during the term. So that's really what I would like you guys to do, is give authorization to move when terms are favorable.
Okay.
So at some point in time, it doesn't have to be, anytime.
I think that's what we
tonight or-
did when we got this group. When we got this number, we gave authorization for
Well,
you
we
to find
were
terms.
running on a month to month then, and we decided at this point. I
Okay.
actually think I'm the one that pushed us to go take
Which
that.
You
you
did.
guys
I remember.
did,
You did.
which you
So we
guys
need to
did.
go along.
I'll pat my
You
back.
pushed it,
Look,
you
No, my
pushed
question
it, but
is-
you authorized me to work with Jay, and when that
When
market
it got low enough,
got low enough, that's
Yeah.
when him and I had to do that real quick move and lock it.
Yeah.
we'll take it when it's 40 cents low.
So,
I would love to. Yeah, that's really what that gives us, that authority then,
Yeah.
to be able to move quickly. Otherwise, we have to wait for meetings and hope that the price is there.
right.
If we can get you guys to pass something that gives us that authorization, it'll allow us to be flexible, have dexterity to watch the market. And when we see it, hey, Brian, today's the day.
Yeah.
We got 11 to 2 o'clock. We got to move quick.
Yeah,
So
I know
that's-
it's on the hours. So go
Yeah.
back to, I just want to make sure I'm understanding it
Mhm.
correctly. We are locked in where we can't change till the end of 26, or we're on that 2-year extension. So if we wanted to move out, we could.
So you guys are in until December 26th. If folks want to opt out individually,
No, I'm
they
talking
can.
about us as a township.
Yeah, you're in until December 26th.
Yep, okay. And then I had a couple residents complain and they didn't quite understand, and this is AEP again.
Mhm.
They have a higher usage of electricity, but their bills were so much higher than other people.
Oh, yeah.
And what they're saying is because the more you use, the rate goes higher for you.
So it could be on the distribution and transmission end. We've
Yeah.
been seeing, it's been a nightmare lately, honestly.
So they're already paying more because they're using more, but they're charging them a greater per kilowatt because of transmitting,
So,
something
yeah,
like that.
so that's the regulated part that we can't touch. And that's really why it makes aggregation programs more important, is
Yeah.
because we affect only what we can, which is the commodity side, right? But that transmission and distribution side, that's just going up and up, and it's happening all the
Okay.
time.
Is
So
that
as people,
PUCO?
yeah, and basically when AEP goes to them and says, hey, we need an extension on this, we need to increase this, the rate case, they stamp it, it's through.
Right.
And everybody ends up paying throughout the state of Ohio at the residential level for those improvements.
So all-
Maintaining the grid is important, but I mean,
Yeah.
the cost is
all
huge.
these people that went with electric homes, and this is what we're talking about because they're using more electric, they're paying a higher rate per kilowatt because of the transmission part.
Yeah.
The more they use. And so what I'm seeing is some of the residents are telling me, well, I'm going to flip back my dryer from electric to gas because they can do that, or I'm going to I'm going to
Yeah.
try to get off as much electric as I can.
That makes sense. If they can do that, that definitely makes sense for this point in time, but
Yeah.
the price that we have on the aggregation program is really good on the commodity side, so I'd recommend people stay in it for now. If they have questions or ever want to shop it, feel free to have them call me. I'm happy to take calls, questions, emails.
Well, they're on our program now.
Okay,
It's just the AE, that part,
yeah.
we can't control.
When would you like to see us give authorization? What timeline? Because it's April right now.
Yeah, I
We're-
mean-
we're through December of 26.
If you guys could do it over the next 6 months, that would probably be great.
Okay.
Like the sooner the better, just in case we saw a huge drop in the market and we were able to get you where you are now. If
Yeah.
we could get you under 8 cents, I would want to move immediately on it, right?
Yeah.
We're already under 8 cents though.
For the next term.
For the next
The
one.
next
Right.
term.
Yeah.
I want to wait and see what happens in the political world and what's going to happen that way. I'm not sure if 6 months is enough for me. I might
Yeah.
need 9 months.
No problem. You can have
I
as long
just
as
And
you
then,
what's
want.
gonna
and then
happen.
let's talk December 26th. Say we give the authorization and you're farming that for the next term.
Mhm.
What are people typically doing? 2, 3, 4 years?
right now, everybody's doing 12-month deals.
Okay.
Nobody wants.
Well, because it's 9 and 10.
Yeah, nobody wants that
Well,
for 24 months.
And I think when we took
Okay.
the 4-year deal, people were still only taking 2 years at that. didn't they?
Yeah, you guys went long, and again, you did really well. So it's been a good program. That I really appreciate working with you all. We've been working with you since 2015, so it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Really value the relationship. And again, I'm here anytime you guys need me. I'm happy to hop in the car, come up. I live in Powell, right outside of Columbus, so it's a 2-hour trip up.
Is there
You know,
anything these
I'm happy to
residents can do that have these mostly electric houses to complain about how that they're actually almost quadrupling the rate for the transmission?
Yeah, I mean, if they can switch stuff from
I mean,
electric
is
to
there
gas,
anywhere they
do
could
it.
go and complain about it?
I mean, they could probably make a PUCO complaint if they wanted to the Public Utilities
Probably
Commission of
just got
Ohio.
tossed in the trash. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's a situation that's difficult because
There's
a lot
no
of times,
committees out there.
yeah, well, a lot of times the community, the folks within the community will call AEP and they'll say, oh yeah, it's your aggregation program. So we've been having like a lot of issues with that, and it's clearly not because the aggregation rate is fixed.
Right.
So it's the same
Yeah.
cost the whole time.
It is. That's why I walked them through their electric bill and I
Mhm.
showed them, you're getting our discounted rate.
Right. So it can be a little bit hard to understand, and especially when the bill's really high,
Yeah.
it makes things tough. So anytime people have questions, please do send them my way, and
Okay,
really appreciate you guys taking the time to
thank you.
allow me to come up and speak, and
Thanks for being here.
I'm happy to do it anytime.
Jay,
Thank you.
I'd
Very
like
good.
to speak here because I track all the bills coming in at the fire station and here. For example, the delivery charge versus the supplier charge. And those charges, I can see where the delivery charge, AEP's rates since the last 4 years have went up. I'm showing that they were anywhere from 6 and 7 cents back 4 years ago, and they're as high as 12 and 13 cents now. But our delivery, our supplier from you guys has stayed constant. But when people start using more kilowatts than last year, their bills take big jumps because a lot of it, when I see it in our own bill here at the township and even at the fire station was lucky to be on the village's electric aggregation at 0.0495.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of those old
Yeah,
rates.
and that's old, and it ended.
Yeah.
So it's jumped up to their new rate.
Mhm.
So these things have all changed, but I'm tracking it for the last 2 years as I do the bills. And sometimes when I get the phone calls, when people say, you guys raised my rate up, it's $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
I come to find out they were on a budget. The budget came due because they thought, well, I'm paying this low amount all year. And then they had to make up the difference at the end of that term. And they went into shock, but they blamed the township. I did as nice as I could, and I directed them to you to explain that to them. And I know moving forward, I know we talked about blending in when you originally did the program.
Yeah.
But I know the market's crazy right now, and you couldn't really blend anything to help us.
Unless you want to blend higher.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to go
Doesn't make
higher.
any sense.
I will tell you, I got an email today from AEP telling us that their transmission rates are going up.
Yeah,
So
it's coming right
it's
now.
already going again.
It's June of this year. It's supposed to go up by about 30%.
Yeah.
in
How
June.
much?
I got that.
30%.
I got that too. That's what I was showing.
So,
Wow.
Hearing it pop through.
Yeah, it's moving
If you're
higher.
complaining about your power bill now,
Yeah, it's going to go up.
30% is a lot.
Yeah. That's
Jay, thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you very
Appreciate you
much.
being here. I know it's a trip from Columbus.
Hey, I'm happy to make it. Thank you all.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else for public speaks? If not, we'll move along. Okay. All right. Fire report.
Good evening.
Hi.
So as you can see, the agenda, you have it.
Hey, excuse me, Chief. I had 2 agendas. So
Yeah.
which one we follow?
The long one.
The long one. Oh, man.
I was hoping
The one that
for
spends
more.
more money. All right.
Yeah, the one that ends with heater in the bay.
Okay.
All right.
So the compressor's not working again. I included a quote and to Mr. Lowry for a new compressor.
Okay.
For $28.99.99, it does have a 5-year service agreement with it.
That's the same size.
Have you looked out on your fire connections or the website for the state bids to see if any of these are out there?
I have not looked as far as state bids.
Because
for-
this is such a high price, I think we may have to look at the state bid price. We might find it comes in cheaper.
Okay, we can.
On that, they'll give you a list of vendors. And wherever you got this one from, you can ask them, do you do the state bid pricing? Because a lot of times you have to ask for it.
I believe that one was,
Does it say on there?
I was running to my account.
I mean, we could find it quite a bit cheaper.
The current one's not functioning, right?
Correct.
It's broken. All right. I'd like to move on this. I'm gonna be straight honest with you. I'm tired of messing with it. We need to buy one and replace it. I've personally fixed it 4 times, and that's just me.
Yeah.
I know Randy's been there a couple times. Like at me,
It's-
$28.99. I think we go. 'Cause
Well, I
mean,
don't
we
want to
got-
just do it without looking at a state bid price somewhere. I'm going to prove that we buy one. But
Okay.
you need to do your due diligence and look for the better price. And make sure you're getting the one you want, though.
Yeah, I think the one that you have here is a replacement. It's not a smaller unit. It's the same size as what's there,
Correct.
which I think is the way to go. I know there's opinion both ways. Some say put a smaller one in, which is probably going to run more. But
I'm fine with staying the same size.
Yeah,
Just look
I am
for the
too.
better price.
can we ask Tractor Supply if we can get a state bid price? Or do we have to go through a state
It's
bid?
possible. No, the vendors know if they're on that list.
Okay.
So if you ask them, do you honor state bid pricing? They'll tell you if they do or not. Brian, do we have that much money available?
You have money presently available.
All right. So I'll make a motion to purchase the new compressor, the same size as what we currently have, not to exceed $2,900, but look for the best price we can get on it.
Trustee Varian, second, roll call.
Griffith
Yes.
and Varian.
Yes. Do you know if Tyler's willing to help us install that, or I can
Yes,
help him?
absolutely.
Okay, great. We can save some install price.
You're,
All right.
just so I'm clear, you're approving up to
We're
that
approving
amount?
2,900,
Okay,
best price we can get.
okay.
Hopefully less.
With the state, you're
Trying to get state bid and
Yeah.
no tax.
And I will say that the other 2 trustees more than me, I'm not mechanically inclined that much, do a lot of their own, go and help a lot and repair a lot of things. So they do that physical stuff.
It's been repaired several times.
Yeah, we're due.
Yeah.
We're due.
So we
It's,
try.
it's original. Amy, is it original? It did well. I mean,
Yes.
it's done well.
It's the
I
original.
mean, we need to hug it before we put it in the scrap pile.
We've
It's
all
done.
worked on it.
And we have to deem it, do we have to deem it junk then too? Because it probably has a tag on it. Does it?
We'll have to get it out of inventory
All right.
probably, so.
We can do
check
that.
It'll
before
go
you.
out of inventory, the new one will go in, you guys deem it of
All
no
right.
value or whatever, whether it's scrapped or whatever you decide.
Yeah.
All right. The eco chainsaw we talked last time. Did we do
No.
anything? We didn't?
Yeah, they did talk about it,
Okay.
and I will ask Chief Ruskin, the trustees approved $65. Is this the one that they did and end up being more, the estimate more?
Yes, I had mentioned the 65 was for the PM,
Yeah,
but
Oh, okay.
when we took it to him, it wasn't working properly. So
Okay.
so that,
there was. a lot
you
of-
approved originally for the PM to take a look at it at $65.
Would you like
And that was
to?
included in that,
It's
this
included,
price.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that includes the 65.
That includes the
Yes.
65. Okay.
We said we would have to fix it.
Yeah. Trustee Varian moves to pay Tim's small engine repair, $234 for the repair of the eco chainsaw, which is on 249.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
All those in favor, roll call?
Varian
Yes.
and Griffith.
Yes.
All right. I'll give you that back so I don't lose it. I'm gonna give you that back so I don't lose it. Thank you. All right, moving along.
All right, we have an AED, an automated external defibrillator on engine 241. In the event that there would be an issue at a fire or something like that. Anyway, the battery's almost dead.
Okay.
It's 240 or 460 for a replacement battery. If you wanted to, I mean, you could probably wait a month or two.
Okay.
To for that battery, but
Let's jump that for now and go down to the other, yeah, go
Can
ahead.
I ask a question? AED, help me out. What does that run, operate exactly?
It will shock your chest if you
Yeah,
stay in there.
it is
It's the heart tracker.
The
automated external.
Just so you know, I talked to Sue about that when she got to see that. We had a situation where our battery was dead and we had a lawsuit.
Where at?
Yeah, this was years ago.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was probably, might have been before your time and there's a lot of staff, maybe,
That wasn't the AED, that was the monitor.
was it
That
the
was the heart
monitor?
monitor on the
Okay.
spot. Yeah, I'm fully aware.
Because it had to do with the battery not being
It
there.
did.
Okay, and I just wanted to say the
Not
importance
the
of that.
Do we have 460 bucks?
Yeah.
We need to move on that.
We're not comparing the same thing.
Okay,
Okay.
but you're comparing something that
Sure.
Yeah,
operates.
yeah, that's a piece of
That's a-
equipment.
Sure.
Survival
All right.
of reviving somebody.
All right, so that,
Just know the importance of that before you make that decision.
all right.
What's it at? Two bars now or one?
Yeah,
We're at.
it's not rechargeable, it's just.
Yeah.
Do we have a vendor for that?
Yup, Boundary. Sorry, Tom.
That's okay.
Foundry?
Sorry,
That's okay.
Boundary Medical.
Okay.
It is also likely reimbursable by EMS grant money.
Oh, okay.
We spent all that we had last year.
That was last year.
Yeah,
It'll be.
start
opening
this
again.
year. Yeah.
Okay. So folks, how do we want to handle this? What do you think?
I say then we go ahead and buy it and we'll apply it towards that grant.
Okay.
Because we have to pay for it up front anyway, and I don't think we should be waiting on it.
Okay. Trustee Varian moves to pay $460 to Boundtree for a replacement battery for the AED.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call?
Varian
Yes.
and Griffith.
Yes.
Okay, moving along.
And then we had a 3-year maintenance agreement with Stryker for our 2 Life Pack 15s
And the Lucas, that's all.
and the Lucas, and the 2 Lucas devices, yes.
Okay.
So it's time for the 3rd-year installment.
That was already discussed a while back and that money is available for that.
I need to send him a PO.
So do we still need to make a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
It was talked about, but it wasn't officially approved other than they approved it in last year in 2024.
They approved it 2 years ago. We just
But-
needed the PO for this year.
But
Okay.
you need it for this year.
Okay. All right. Trustee Varian moves to pay the Stryker Company $1,970 to continue our 3-year agreement.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call?
Varian,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna give you that back.
Ryan, will you be able to send me a PO for that so I can send it to Stryker?
Brian, did you hear that?
no,
Can you send Amy a PO?
yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. All right.
And I know we've discussed this in the past with we need a mower.
Okay.
It's springtime now.
Yep, I get it. Is the one that we have functioning at all, or does it just not work?
I would not put someone on it.
It's in bad shape.
What was that?
I would not have our personnel
Yeah.
use it at this point. I mean,
Okay.
we said at the end of the year, we need to replace it.
Is this a state bid kind of quote thing? I don't know.
It can
In the world of mowers?
You think it can be?
be. You can ask.
I have a question. We have a Skag mower in the road department that was in the cemetery at one time.
Is it not being used?
It's up in, it's not
I mean,
being-
that worn out Skag is probably way better than the MTD yard mans you guys have been running. I mean, it's a 0-turn commercial mower.
It might need some prep work, a battery, some things like that to get it back on, but that thing should work, other than that one hillside. The
Yeah. it's
hillside
0-turn.
towards your neighbors, going down towards that one side, I'd be
Mhm.
concerned. But the rest of it, I mowed, reason why is I used it before to mow all your stuff, different times when things were broke down years ago. But
Is it, when you moved it, Stu, is it running?
Yeah.
Oh, let's just get it to the fire department. Start using it.
Yeah, let's do that and
Is that okay?
hold off on actually buying
We
one.
can get it back down here.
Would you mind doing that in the next week or two?
We'll try to-
I mean, the grass is
tomorrow,
growing.
maybe.
That'd be great. Let's do that.
Well, tomorrow it's only gonna be in the 40s again, so it'll stun it.
I mowed today, I mowed all afternoon. I think that's a great solution for now.
For now.
it's just for now, but I thought it could be used to help you guys out and then talk about getting more information.
Especially if it's just sitting.
And that'll give you time to look and see if you can find any mowers on state bid and things like that. I'll give you something to use right now.
I mean, Stu, what do you think? Needs blades need sharpened, or is it pretty
We'll
much?
check it.
Okay. All right, great. That was a cheap solution. All right, wonderful. Thank you. All right, moving along.
Okay, I want to jump down to, since it's kind of, still when it comes to spending money. We need road flares, and we found Granger, 36 30-minute flares for $245. I was just talking to Stu. I have to see if we have an account there. I know the road department does account there.
For Granger.
Granger,
We have a country.
yeah,
The fire department?
because Dan, when he was there, Dan, he came through on Dan's name. It's open. I haven't closed it.
Okay.
Might be Dan can't
It might-
order it.
Well, it might be the township. It might just be under the township name, and Dan just put his name when he bought something. You know,
It
it might
came,
not be
it came
fire
through
department.
with PO on it as Dan when Dan was there, but
Yeah,
it's
so-
still there.
It's
It's
the
just a matter of,
It's the road department. Yeah, it's not under the fire, but that's okay.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, you can.
the building will go to fire.
Is this another general account amount here, Brian? Can we spend $245 of the general?
Yeah.
Trustee Varian moves to pay $245.15 to Granger for 36 30-minute road flares.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call?
Griffith,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes. Okay.
And then the heater in the bay is leaking, has been leaking, was just discovered, from the condensation drain was clogged up. But, Palm and Amstutz think they can fix that, so.
What kind of heater are we talking? Water heater or?
No, the
hot water,
bay heater,
oh, bay here.
It's the tube heater. So like a tube,
Yes.
it's a tube heater.
yeah. So they're gonna look at fixing that,
Okay.
this week, and they may just have to run down to Ace Hardware and
Get some pieces
do some
parked.
decent parts for that.
Okay.
Just wanted to put that on your.
We got a tall enough ladder to get up there?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
We got a pretty good
Alright.
size step ladder. And then, there's an extrication training coming up. That's a joint training with, Louisville Fire and Michelle Fire on Saturday, April 26th. It's gonna be at 9 a.m. to noon in Louisville, behind the service department there. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention. It's going to be an extra training for April. And it'll be a 3-hour training. And then there's another joint training in July with NIM in Louisville, and that's water supply and tanker shuttle. July 12th, so again, it's Saturday, it's probably gonna be 9 to noon again.
Okay.
So I just want to let you all know that.
Great.
And then calls, 35 calls since the last meeting. We had no mutual aid come into the township, but we did assist them on motor vehicle accident.
You had no mutual aid?
No.
Have you had very many open burns?
We have not. I think I can recall one.
Okay, just a couple.
Nothing terrible.
We have a jet sewer $200
Oh,
invoice in front of us. What you got there?
so I just emailed that to Brian today.
I got it to him.
Okay, so we got a floor drain on the south bay that's clogged. That gentleman jetted all the drains last year for free,
Okay.
and we contacted him to see if he would do it again this year for free. And he said no. He wouldn't jet them for free, but, is there?
That's nice that he did them last year for free.
Yes, and I didn't know if there was something that maybe we have here at the township that we could, it's just a one floor drain between, the spare bay and 249. It's just not draining. Do we have anything?
We have those, the rubber inserts,
The baffle, the water,
Yeah.
the balloon baffle.
Do you know if it's a 4-inch, 6-inch?
4-inch, 6-inch,
Do you know
2-inch,
what size?
makes a difference.
These guys do some of their stuff in-house here, some of it.
It would probably work, the 4-inch would probably work on it.
So why don't you see what you can do, Stu, and if it doesn't work, then come back next time and we'll talk about it. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right, we'll table the $200. I would say that if we decide to bring somebody in and he was kind enough to do it for free, I'd like to use him. If he, you know what I'm saying? If he
Yeah.
took time to do it for free, it'd be nice if we decide to bring someone and pay somebody.
Correct.
All right,
I just did if we had something here at the township that we might be able to use to,
okay.
and that just come to light the other day.
I have one more thing for fire. Do you have anything else for fire?
I do know.
Amy, do you have anything else for fire? No? Okay. I have one more thing real quick and then we'll move on to the next. I apologize, I missed the last meeting, so I missed some of the conversation. But to catch everybody up, the public address weather alarm that's at the township, at the fire department, in the back, tall pole, that set off, noon, first Monday of every month? Is that
Correct.
fair?
Only certain months of the year.
Only certain months of the year. That is not working because we changed our radio system. We had to upgrade the radio system, so we went to Mark's. And that
And All-Star County upgraded radio.
yes, and that no longer works. So if you hear the siren from the quarry, that's Canton City. So if you hear it, that's what you're hearing. So currently that machine does not work. So part of the conversation was, do we fix it? Who's responsible for it? When it was put in, it was I believe a grant and also funds from the village and the township. Township put it in, village has been paying the power bill for the years we've had it in. And so we're kind of at this stalemate. So Staley Technologies will fix it. And this is a new quote as of a couple of days ago for $56.60.50. So $5,660.50. They will upgrade what is there and make it work. Our opinion was, we did a little bit of research. We found that not a lot of other fire departments are fixing theirs. They're kind of letting them go. When we gave that to the city council, they said we would rather fix it for the residents in the town or in the village that might not have a cell phone, they might not have a television to tell them weather's coming. And so where we are now is the mayor of the village of East Canton, David Spencer, has asked if we will split the cost with the village. Again, $5,600. So do we have any discussion on that?
They'll still maintain it like you do now in electric. And
I did not ask that question, but
I think they
can.
will. I had a conversation with the fiscal officer and they originally said that they planned on continuing on, doing electric and maintaining that. I asked him if he had any numbers. I think they paid out almost $14,000 or $15,000 over the last 20 years of electric and things they did. Original install, I found the minutes on that, was a grant at $14,600 that the township had gotten. And in other words, the township paid for it, and then the village agreement was to originally maintain it. Now we're coming to the point where it needs major repair, and that's where we're at now. So
I will just make comments of what residents of the township have said. And that is that most of them don't hear it. So it goes off, it's benefiting the village and a little bit of the township, but not very much. And so I'm not sure how many is going to be happy to know that we're using our money to fix it when it's not benefiting us. But I do think that, was it you, Tom, that said, are you the one that gave your opinion on the?
Yes, I had a long conversation with Tim Wursler over at the Stark County EMA, and he's the one that informed me that a lot of townships are going away from them. Jackson Township, when they upgraded their radio system, did not upgrade their tornado sirens. Jackson Township has 0 tornado sirens
Really?
working operational at this time.
They've actually had a tornado before.
I was going to say, Jack Township's gotten hit hard with tornadoes in its history.
Yes.
There was one that was bad that went through that town.
I think he talked about, I don't have my notes in front of me, but like North Lawrence up in that Canal Fulton area.
Mm-hmm.
They're, as they break or go bad, they're not repairing theirs. I think he said they have one operational out of 3 in that area at this time.
Well, some of the complaints I was told about it, or the other side of it, is if you're in your house and your doors and windows are shut because you have bad weather, you're not hearing it anyway.
Correct.
And so you really would have to be outside to hear it.
And he said the one at the quarry is strictly because of the golf course.
If they're out on the golf course golfing.
Hmm.
I mean, it's when we're worried about spending money and all these different things, and I'm nagging at you to get a state bid price to lower it, because we're really tight on funds. I don't know if it makes sense for us to do this. I mean, give me a good reason why the township should do it.
There's a capital fund that Jay had. We have $47,000 if you wanted to do it.
He said there's capital fund money.
Is that our electrical aggregation money?
That's your capital fund that you use for upgrading the security
guys.
system.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Anything that we were using, like the phone systems, the security systems, that's what you advised me to use that money. We got a balance of like $47,000. We used about $12,000 on it. If you want to even consider it, I just wanted to point that out. You don't have to. I'm not saying you have
Well,
to.
the other thing we can do is table it and have when Randy is here and present, we can have a
Yeah,
conversation.
just table it again and
Okay.
try to gather some more information from different people.
Okay.
Because we're talking what?
We'll call it 3,000, call it 3,000,
$2,830.25.
$2,800. Okay, we're gonna table that. Anything else for fire?
Nothing.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
so what we tabled was the drain, we're gonna work on.
The lawnmower.
The skag mower, we're gonna transport, and the siren, we're gonna wait. Everything else on that list we approved.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Okay, thanks. That was a big fire report. Thank you for getting all that together. All right, moving along. Cemetery.
Give me 1 second.
You know, one good thing you could have said, that I just sat here and thought was,
Mhm.
well, if it was at a football game or a school was having an event and people were outside, they would hear it. You should have
That's
told
true.
me that.
That's true. I didn't think of
That's
that.
why I said, give me some
Yeah.
good reason to do it.
I mean, when you're in the village, you can hear it. I hear the Corey because I'm just closer to the Corey.
Yeah.
I don't hear the one from the
I
fire
don't hear
station.
any of them.
Yeah, I don't hear the fire station one. I hear the Corey. All right, what do we have?
I got to talk to Ryan. He has continued on with the cleanup around the cemeteries. I think he filled up our dumpster a couple of times over. So he's working on that. He turned into the office open and closing for John Geegum, $1,000 for open and closing. If you look at your treasurer's report, we needed some cash flow in there to help sell.
Okay.
I told him, I mean, it's a tough thing to do, but I said, if you can sell some lots, not that somebody passed, but we need as much help as we can there. But anyhow, that money came in. I've got it already in the bank account, so that's there. I know that there was discussion on, what we're gonna do. I know he's been working, not turning any hours or time in over and above his cemetery section, but he is meeting people. He's met some people and he has those pins now to repin Wildwood. And he has some interesting parties that want to buy lots at
Oh,
Wildwood.
Wildwood?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
That's
have
good.
some stuff. So I'm hoping our initial investment in them pins was $241. If we would sell one lot, it would recoup that, let alone if there's some open and closings there, just to keep that in
That's good
mind.
news.
Other than that, that's all I have for cemetery.
Okay. Road report.
Good evening, everybody. If the trustees have read over the road report, is there any questions you want to ask?
I know Stu, I know the trustees, you had laid those invoices and things to talk about, but I attached it to their road report. So as they read it over, they might hit you up and ask for that.
Yep.
we've been going out, I mean, doing a lot of cleanup, cleaning out ditches from that heavy rain we had there the other Saturday. Fixing some ditches up, fixing some spots that were washed out.
Okay.
We did bring the Durapatcher down here and we did take this salt spreader stuff off of 201 and got it ready to go.
Okay.
Kind of bubble gum the bed together with JB Weld for right now, since we haven't
Done
done anything with the bed floor. The way the weather's looking for next week, we're probably gonna be going after our first load full emulsion Monday.
Okay.
Cause we got 2-3 days there, it's 70s.
Gonna be nice.
Yeah. We gotta try to get some stuff plugged up here. We were getting a lot of phone calls on MIDI,
Yeah.
Amons.
Yeah, I would just elaborate. I know Stu's handling them, but we're getting a lot of calls on MIDI and some on parks, but a lot of the calls are MIDI.
MIDI and
And
Amons.
Email, and then there was,
I've been out today and went through all those roads, brooming all the heavy loose stuff out of there,
Okay.
out of the bad spots.
Stu, if I wanted to call and put my opinion in on Orchard View, who would I call? Like Orchard View by the quarry.
By the quarry?
Yeah, I would like as just a resident.
It is really bad.
It's- I'd like to
Well,
make a phone call.
Steve, I forget Steve's last name. He is the road superintendent
Okay.
for City of Canton.
Okay, that's what I'll look up. Road Superintendent, City of Canton.
I think I have that in my
Because it's
phone.
actually through the City of Canton. It's not, that road is City of Canton.
That is the City
That
of
is
Canton.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, thank you. That's all I need. I'll look it up. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
they didn't have anything slotted, because I called, and I know Stu's been calling. They didn't have any slotted, big projects to repave that out there,
Right.
just so you know.
Yeah,
Me
I
and
know, I
Brian
heard
both
that.
talked
I heard
to him
that.
at the same time there.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Steve, it was someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going down through there fast enough. You lose control. Like the-
They've
All
tried to plug some holes up here a couple times,
So
but
you think by the end of this week, you'll have some motion down, or end of next?
no, next week.
Next week, okay.
Next week.
We'll start putting them holes.
What I want to do is, and that's one of the things here, I want to get around 50 ton of 304 crushed concrete in our bin. We just fixed the bin walls this morning.
Okay,
Several of the sheets, the 3/4 inch 4x8 sheets, were laying on the floor when we went up there
pick them up.
a couple weeks ago. Rusted all the screws right off from the salt
Yeah.
over the years.
That makes sense.
So we did a lot of screwing everything back on with screws, and we need to get some 304 in here. We'd like to go get some tomorrow if we can.
You better call, because we've been watching, they just have not been running them. They don't,
Well,
I don't think there's any available yet.
there might not be. I called them back here several weeks ago and they had it. I seen piles there. I talked to them. They had it. That could be totally different now. Yes.
Yeah,
I was gonna try to go out with a little bit and put it there on Neiman's, where they're really dropping off that bad spot there and going around it off the road. I got it all cleaned out. We thought about if we could even get one truckload. You go out there, put a little bit in that one with the mini,
what's the one right
Level it
along
out.
30 there?
pack it in, huh?
Who's that right along 30 that crushes?
The concrete?
Yeah, on the
Danny
right.
Hill?
No, right on the right, when you get on 30 going west.
That's Diana's.
Yeah.
That's where we get it from.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
well,
concrete
they
guys.
had some problems where they're not allowed to crush unless it's damp weather because of air control.
Dust.
Yeah, so they're
Wow.
really restricted on when they can
Yeah.
do that. So every time we go by, we're looking to see if they have any.
So, I mean, I'd like to be able to get the okay to at least, it's $20 a ton
$20 a ton.
price on it. So
Yeah, went up.
if I could even get one truckload right now, we're gonna need more because we need to start doing some culverts here and there. And
Okay.
we're gonna get so busy, I ain't gonna have time to do any of that.
All right, let's start on the top of this old business list. And
All
work
right,
down
Buck
through the
Hill.
crush. All right. This
And
is this is the plate in the bed, right?
Yes, to
Okay.
replate the floor.
Okay. Brian, before we get into the finance side of things, where are we in the general fund for that, or the road fund?
Hold on a second.
The bad thing about this is, Cliff,
Mm-hmm.
even if you give me the okay, right now, we're gonna get busy.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't gonna have time. to
No,
put the
you're not
flooring
gonna
down.
be able to give the truck
If
up.
we could have had this back 2-3 weeks ago, they probably could have had it in there and had it put in the bid already.
Did they give you a time frame, Stu, once it did get to them? Like, is it, oh, yeah,
It
knock
ain't
it
gonna
out
take them
quick?
that long, no.
Which truck are we talking?
201, the one we used to do the dirt patching. It's the oldest truck. I
It's the
mean,
good
the salt's
It's the
just,
good one.
It's the good one.
it
It
is,
is the good one.
it is. It's
Yeah,
a good
okay.
truck, but I mean, the floor is just getting rusted out of it.
It is.
Well, how much truth is there to that, Stu? Do you not want us to approve this right now because you don't think it's gonna get done, or do you want to try to get it approved to get it done?
I think we just go ahead and approve it. If the
Why
money
can't we
is
just
there.
approve it and then whenever I have the time,
Okay,
Is the
money there?
Yes.
All right. Trustee Varian moves to pay Buck Hill Fabricators, the price of $2,900 to put a steel plate in the bed of truck 201.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
All right, we got that one knocked out. What we got next?
next one, IHM, they're the ones that was going to order the new motor for on the deck of the boom mower that turns the knives.
Oh, this is a hydraulic motor.
Yeah, when we checked with them, and I checked and called Tiger myself, Tim was able to get a better price than what we could
Okay.
through Tiger, where we got the mower from. So,
And is this a part that we're gonna get and put on right away?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we can put it all back together and everything. We just want to get out there and do some brush and stuff before we have to do grass.
Okay. right.
Um,
Trustee Barry moves to pay Innovative Hydraulic Machinery $1,196.02 for a hydraulic motor for the, did you say boom mower?
Yep, 6410, the boom mower.
6410 boom mower.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
Roll call.
Griffith,
Yes.
Varian,
Yes. All right, moving on.
Okay, in-kind work for Parks Avenue project. Everything, when you come down to the last paper there that I just wrote it down with a pen, that is all the parts and everything that we have to do along with all the labor and everything from Parker, everything to do that job. Stone,
To do
gravel,
which job?
the Park Avenue where that.
Part of the
culvert
grant?
needs- Yeah,
part of the parks.
part of the
chip and seal-
parks project.
Chip and seal project.
Yep, the chip and seal project.
He has to go in front of you trustees to let you know pricing, because that's gonna be paid out of the in-kind work,
Yes.
but yet it gets turned in on that.
But we have to show it, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we have to we're not making a motion on this, but this is just for our information right now.
No, you need to do it if he's gonna be buying it, because it's coming out of the money right now. You don't
Okay.
have grant money sitting there paying that. so you
Okay.
gotta
How much
pay it
grant
out.
money did we get?
95,000, I think, or something.
But that's for the whole project.
That's
That's
the whole project.
Yeah.
But when you turn in-kind work in, the in-kind work gets credited towards that grant. But you gotta keep track of it. That's why Stu has to keep track
But
of
we still make a
everything he
motion.
does. Yes,
Okay.
you wanna have a motion so that you're,
Allowing Stu to purchase and then
Yes.
get repaid from the grant.
If we were able to do it, talking to Parker, he was hoping we could have done this right now.
Yeah.
Because
Is this
he's
the
gonna
part-
get really busy here and going out, doing other big jobs and
Is this the part that's in our township?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is on.
it's just north
Okay.
of the railroad overpass that got ripped out.
And Brian, it's gonna become part of our grant funding that we're gonna get back.
It's what's called
In
in-kind.
kind,
It's the in-kind portion of it. The grant to chip and seal has been approved, but there's always in-kind work that gets credited towards that you.
just like us going out with the Durapatcher, we have to keep track of everything.
Yeah.
Stone, oil,
Okay.
fuel.
All right, I
Man,
think we need to approve it.
All right. Trustee Varian moves to approve $5,813.20 for in-kind work on Parks Avenue. This is giving Stu Unkerfer, the road superintendent, permission to purchase items and contract laborers to complete the project.
Griffith seconds.
A roll call.
Griffith
Yes.
and Varian.
Yes. So we didn't give any vendor names. Is that okay?
Yeah, because
Alright.
what I'm gonna do is a blanket, and
Okay.
then when Stu turns them in to me, and then I just charge that blanket certificate.
Okay. All right.
All right, and there's the snow wheel. You guys want me to table it
Yeah.
for the new plow?
Seems like a high sales tax rate.
What's that?
It's 0. They're not charging it, but they're showing it.
They're
Okay.
showing it.
It's
Yeah.
not that high, is it?
7.3 in what town? Was
They're clear out.
this is Fairmont?
They're out
Oh,
somewhere
they're in
else.
another state. I
They're
was
in,
gonna say.
yeah, they're not around here.
Okay.
All right. So is this a situation that we got to get them because they're going to be $10,000 in a couple months, or is it a situation that we can wait?
They're always gonna go up.
It's gonna go up, but the question,
keeps going
Brian,
up.
is how much do we have the extra funding sitting there to spend now?
We have the money now that I'm in permanent appropriations, but you're gonna be maxing out all your repairs by what you're all approving. I mean, there's still money there because I'm taking it out of the gas tax, but we have to buy our load of salt, which I got plenty there for that. I got plenty if we have to buy additional salt, different hours, all that stuff. But how it's gonna affect is when we get the road project for our regular chip and seal project, that might not be normal where we do $300,000 worth of chip and seal and do 12 or 15
We might
miles
have
of road.
250,000.
Yeah, we might only have 9 or 10 miles of
miles,
roads that
right.
we can do. It's gonna affect that, but it's gonna affect it any way you look at it.
So where would you take this snow wheels for a plow? Where would that come
right
from?
now, I would take it
Gas
out of
tax?
the gas tax, yeah.
So just today, I got a notice that the state collected a lot higher gas tax this quarter than what they expected. Does that mean we'll get any additional fund money?
I don't know where you heard that from, but I know what is budgeted, that has been certified by the county
Yeah.
and by the state, and I have to go by that.
Oh, yeah.
And we're okay on what decisions I'm saying the funds are there now, because that money's coming. If more come in, that's great.
Yeah. It would just be an addition if there was more. I do think the price of metal with what's going on with tariffs is gonna go dramatically up.
Okay.
So I think we should just
So
go ahead and
let's-
move on it.
Sounds good. You want to make a motion? We can-
Sure, I'll move that we go ahead and buy the swivel snow wheel assembly from Snow Wheel Systems for $3,795.
Trustee,
Truck.
Trustee Varian, second roll call.
Varian
Yes.
and Griffith.
Yes.
All right, new business.
No, oh, yeah. Belford Avenue. Brian took a call the other day and we ran out right away to look at it. It was from that Saturday rain, there's a culvert right there on Belford before you get to Georgetown.
Before you get,
I
okay,
mean, right behind the first house there.
Okay.
You came off of Georgetown on Belford, there's a house that's right there in the corner, just past it, there's a creek that goes underneath. It was washed out, 2 different spots on the one side, on the east side of the road.
good.
Sinkholes right there, and it was actually eroding back underneath the road.
Oh, wow.
The whole bottom of this culvert is gone.
Is it gone the whole way across to the NIM side too?
On them side,
No, this is
Ah,
all
this
on,
It's
culvert.
on Belfort.
it's on Belford.
it's
I,
all
well,
on-
you said close to Georgetown. so
I know, but
I
it
thought it
was
was the
under
culvert.
our road.
Okay.
Anyways, we went out and we looked at it. I called Mike Wood from Starr County right away, told him about the situation because we knew it was 5 feet or larger for the culvert.
Oh, okay.
They always do all of our repairs on anything 5 foot or larger because we can't handle it.
Okay.
Too big. He went out that day later on after 3:30 and looked at it and gave me a call the next morning. He looked at it, said, yeah, the bottom's gone in it. And he said, by the way, we no longer do that for you anymore.
Mm,
The county is not helping us one bit replace any of those big culverts.
wow,
The only thing they do is bridges.
okay.
So now that leaves a lot of money to do that job, because that's a 5-foot culvert. You can go up to 5-foot plastic at Marlboro, which one stick, I think, is $2,300 for 36 inch, or 5 foot, I mean.
5 foot.
So you're looking at $4,600 for 40 foot, 2 sticks to go across there. Now, Mike up there at Marlboro told me he'll give us a better price than that when we go to buy them, if we buy them. But there's a lot more gonna go into this.
I was gonna say how much money we have.
You got guardrails there. It makes a difference if we can use all 40 feet and taper it off at a less steep
Yeah,
area and just put like big riprap 1s and 2s around it, coming back up away on both ends, and not have a head wall where you have to almost put those big cement, like we have up there in that little building of ours.
I mean, I don't know how this works, and maybe we couldn't do this, but did the county say we're no longer interested in helping, or is the county like, we gotta get a kickback from you? We'll do it, but we're gonna
No.
charge you. No,
Because
we're
we will
not,
not,
we're not doing it.
nope.
Is this a Parker project?
Well, we probably have to. I said something to him already, but to sit there and try to figure this out, there's a lot bigger project than doing that 36 inch
Oh, it's
on
5
parks.
foot. Yeah, 5 foot.
Yeah, what's the
Can I-
size on it?
5 foot,
5 foot.
by 40.
So would we better go into concrete?
Well, we talked about that, but you're looking probably more money. It depends on the size.
Trustees, can I intervene? I want to help Stu out.
Yep.
Just help out. Keep in mind, you guys are just as Stark County engineers. I told Stu when I heard this, I said, did that come from Keith Bennett? They're no longer helping, because we do not have equipment. We do not have the funds to do these big projects,
Right.
because we got a ton of 5 foot or bigger culverts all through our township.
Yep.
This is going to be a
Way
drastic
bigger than
cost to the township.
Mhm.
We either have to buy equipment or we're going to contract people to do this for us. It's
Right.
going to be a big chunk, depending on how many of these are failing.
Which that's going to take away from the road. Right?
Yeah, I suggested, and I don't know if Stu had time to talk to Randy, somebody needs to reach out to Stark County engineers and find out, are you guys able to help us at all?
We called Randy and asked him.
Because it was a
Called
shock.
him, but he called and talked to Kiko, that's one of the trustees repairs, and he called to talk to the county, and they told him the same thing. They're not doing it no more.
I just think that should have been talked about at your Stark County.
No,
engineer
Yeah, oh,
meeting.
absolutely.
They
Yeah,
should
and
have
they
said,
didn't
hey,
say
by the
it then.
way, because here we're getting a shock and we have one. How many more are going to fail? Because
Right.
this is going to be $20,000-$30,000 to replace if you have to start paying people all
Oh, yeah,
over.
you're gonna have
Till you get done
road
with
closed
parts
and
and
repaved.
gravel, paving it,
Yep.
guardrails, you could be at $20,000-$30,000 for every one of these.
Yeah.
And then if you go box, if you
You got a
switch them
lot
over and
bigger.
go box, it's gonna be
Yeah.
a lot bigger. So I'm not saying we wanted to dump that all on the county, but that's a big hit to the townships,
Mhm.
to have to do that. I just thought that should have been brought up at that Stark County engineer meeting. at
Yeah,
least
yeah,
discuss
true.
it.
I thought they were doing some that were at a certain size.
The 5 foot or bigger culverts they were doing. For example, I think they even reached out, and it isn't on your report from Stark County engineers, that Stewie found out that they're gonna do that, Lots Avenue Bridge. Down last year where they did down there, at the, that's Lots, the bigger one that goes
Yeah.
all the way down. Now they're gonna do the one that comes down from Overleys, but they're doing that, but it wasn't on the report that they're even doing it. Just Stu happened to call in there and he said, oh, by the way, we're gonna shut that road down because we're gonna do that bridge.
Oh, really?
Well, I have to call Keith Bennett anyway, so let me talk to him. I'll call and talk with him. I know him well.
It would be nice to know the reasoning. Maybe some people, maybe they're being taken advantage or their budgets are cut, but it's gonna be a big cost to the township.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
A big cost.
All right. Hey,
I'll
Stu,
talk with him.
Yes.
do we need to buy this $4,600 before we figure out how we're gonna put it in?
No, I just wanted to bring this to your attention.
All right.
Yeah.
I would like to get Andy out there to get a better
idea.
of how wide. I mean, it's 5 foot in diameter, so the whole,
Yeah,
there's a lot to go in there because you have to dig that out and put
that's a big project.
57 wash gravel down in there for a bed.
Yeah.
Then
So-
you gotta fill back in with 304 crushed concrete.
So right now in its current state, now that it's not pouring down rain,
I went out and me and Rodney put 1s and 2s of the crushed concrete that we got from Diana's. And we put it in there and mashed it in there.
okay,
As soon as we get out there with the Durapatcher, we're gonna coat over top of those to seal it.
okay,
So water can't go down in there,
okay,
and put a Band-Aid on it in
Got it.
case we can make it through till next year.
okay, all right,
To
great,
do this.
And then I will talk with Keith Bennett
that's
myself.
great,
Okay.
all right,
But I'll try to get a better
I was gonna talk
You know,
with him on,
look at the price of everything, like if Annie was gonna do it. We know roughly what the pipe is, but it's all the other things.
all right, 504 crust concrete at 50 ton at $20 a ton, it's $1,000. Do we need to get moving on that?
I think we could go ahead and approve it.
You guys can,
Whenever you're gonna get it.
how many ton can you haul in the road truck?
Yeah, about 8 to 10.
8 to 10. All right, so it's 5 trips. Okay. Trustee Varian moves to purchase 50 ton of 304 wherever we can get it.
Crushed concrete.
I'm sorry, 504 crushed concrete wherever we can get it, up not to exceed $1,000.
Griffith seconds.
Roll call, please.
Griffith,
Yes.
Varian.
Yes. Stu, anything else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brenda called me here Sunday to talk about people that were calling. We went up on Hill Church and Hine, and we removed a stop sign on Hine and moved it over onto Hill Church. Hill Church dead ends into Hine. Hine is a through road. We don't understand why the stop sign was ever there on Hine. The people that have to stop should be Hill Church.
Okay.
So, I
If you
got,
turn at DNK Supply, Cliff,
Okay, turn at DNK Supply.
and go the whole way to the top of Hill Church,
that's
Yeah,
Chris
where it dead ends in
Past
to
Chris
Hine,
Vincent's.
right there by Bob Dickinson's old place that used
Yeah.
to work on the motorcycle.
So when you're going the back way to Malvern, you veer off to the right.
No,
No, all
Yeah.
the top of the hill.
all the way up.
all the
Oh,
way,
by the
keep to your
shades.
left, keep to your left
Like
on
Greg
all
and
those
Nathan.
Ys and go clear to
Before
the
you
top of the
turn
hill,
on.
Yeah, I know where you are.
going out the Wildwood.
Yep, I know where you are.
Anyways, we took the sign and pulled it out and put it there on Hill Church, but we started getting people calling and complaining about it.
Okay.
So
Are we allowed to
today,
move signs?
I called Alan Raber, Stark County Sheriff, and I asked him about that. He said, if it's both our roads, which it is, we can't mess with state roads and county roads.
Okay,
We ain't allowed to touch them.
that's fair.
He said, we can do anything we want with our township roads, with our signs,
Can you guys see that where we're talking about? It's right here.
right there.
So where was the?
Brian's point right there where he has the arrow is where the stop sign used to always be.
Used to be right here, so it
Yes.
stopped traffic coming down Hines to there.
So
So where? do we
anybody
move?
coming up Hill Church and anybody coming north on Hine from the other direction where Brian's arrow is,
You can
they don't
see
have to
they
stop.
all-
You could have a heck of an accident.
They could flow right around this bend originally, right?
Right,
And you got the stop sign where in here.
right in there, right in there.
But that's a big
But
hill.
here's what Alan said to us, which is kind of a good idea. He says, if you don't really want to have that stop sign there, because the people that were calling her
Yeah.
was complaining if they got to come up the hill like that and stop in the winter time, it's gonna be hard to get going again.
Oh, okay, yeah, because that's steep.
So-
That's
It
steep
is
right
steep.
there. Yeah, okay.
Hine is a through road.
Can you yield the other one?
He said, pull the stop sign, move back down and put a yield sign.
Hmm.
On.
Yield ahead.
On Hill.
Put it on Hill
He
Church.
said that on Hill Church, yes.
So make Hine a through road. Don't put a
The
stop
through
sign.
road and put a yield
And put a
ahead
yield
sign
sign
on Hill Church. coming
100
up to
feet
the-
down the street.
Yep, you gotta be
Says
down a
yield at
ways.
Hine.
And he says that covers us for liability. You know, if something would happen
Why don't we just put a second stop sign on Hine on the other
there.
side?
Why should you have to stop both ways on that road and that's a through road? It's a lot more, it's a lot more.
You need to get a run past
It's
that
just
Keeper's house and get up that hill.
That's really interesting does it say one-way stop on the stop sign?
No. So we've been setting with two, we just never have had.
I
an
don't
accident.
Think of
understand
it
why
as
the
a
stop
square
sign
like
was
this.
ever there.
If it was a T like this, it'd be different.
That's
It's
right.
not.
Right.
It's
There's
not
more
like-
residents, well,
You
this
can
is
see they
upside
all go
down
to the
north.
right.
Yeah, right.
But before we do anything, I just want to make a point here. Before we make any changes like this, we really should be talking about it and letting residents know before we go do it. And I
That's
think
fine.
that was part of the problem.
Well,
So it's
all
been
these
there.
years, we've been lucky that there hasn't been
I
a
know, but
major
Stu, you
accident.
didn't have to move it at that time. You could have come in and said.
Well,
"Let's
that's
talk about
true,
it."
but we did it. So
So I do think we
we'll
have to
remember,
change it.
we'll remember that going forward from now on.
So we are allowed to,
I'd
move
like to see
signs
us
in our
stop
town.
on
Yes.
both sides of High.
Yes.
okay.
I don't want to see a yield. I
What
think
happens
it's
if you
just gonna
did a
confuse
three-way
them even
stop and
more.
then everybody loses their momentum?
Well, I see the concern of stopping on the hill. I get
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you put the stop sign on both sides of Hine, it needs to state two-way stop. Because it's gonna look like a three-way stop. Does that make sense? If you're climbing up that hill and you think it's a three-way stop and someone's sitting there, they're gonna pull out in front of somebody. Does that make sense? If there's a stop sign on both sides of Hine and there's nothing on the one coming up, it's gonna have to be stated as a two-way stop. Because you can pull out. That's when the accident's gonna happen. Enter at your own risk. No stop signs.
Well, it's been wrong to only have the one stop sign at the bottom of the hill on the one side.
And is
So
it
if somebody
Makes
was
no
coming up Hill
sense.
Church and turned left, you
Yep.
don't stop.
you don't stop.
And if someone was coming down High and was gonna go straight or turn left,
You don't
they
stop.
would crash.
Yeah.
But it is very visible there, but that doesn't mean we've got a lot of
There should
Well,
have
bad
been
and,
some.
drivers.
and in the road pattern of what we're seeing on this picture, there must be way less people coming down Hine to that stop sign
There is.
because the road pattern shows
They go to the right.
where is yes, and that's north. Down is north, right?
That's south.
That's
So
going
this
No,
is-
that's an actual map that north is up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for 50 years or whatever, the stop sign sat there on the
On
corner of High.
Yeah, I got you.
I think you got complaints about them shrubs being too high. Nobody.
We're
could
cutting
see
those
Yeah.
down too.
And
I talked to the landowner today right there, at Bob Dick's old place, and he says we can whack them all down so you can see real good as you come up there.
which is great. I
Yes.
don't think we can stop people on Hill Church. Because it's sitting on a hill there.
You
Yeah.
still probably ought to put a yield sign.
I don't know.
it. I guess we'll have to put a roundabout in. Right?
That's what he said. I did?
Put a roundabout
So
in.
our two choices.
Oh, I did say
we can Try to
that.
do a yield, which is gonna confuse people even more because they're not used to seeing a sign.
That's a big enough area for a roundabout.
Even though there's a stop sign there, people
Brenda
haven't
likes
even seen it, they've
roundabouts.
been running it.
So what if we put a stop sign on Hine on both, and not anything on Hill Church, and put a stop sign on both sides of Hine and said two-way stop?
Yeah, and then we'll get private.
I'm just curious.
Joe's daughter and son-in-law complain about stop signs.
Well, they're going to complain about having to stop going on a Hill Church for sure. Coming south and turning left on a Hill Church, south to north, going north.
Because
you
that
can
stop
see- you
sign
can
would
see
be
how
right
much-
in front of their house.
What does all the people that like talk to Stu or you, Brenda, what
The
have
ones
they
that
said?
complained,
What did they say? What did
they
say?
do not want to stop on the hill on Hill Church.
Okay, so.
They
they're-
would be
so
fine to stop on Hine both ways.
What do you hear, Stu? I mean.
Why, what's wrong with the yield sign and no stop sign on either on Hine? That's the through road. That's the through road. From Weimer clear to the church cemetery is Hine Avenue.
It is
I mean,
the-
you're starting to make this look like Orchard View and Lots.
It is the,
They put 3 stop signs on, let's do that.
Stu,
Let's put 3 stop signs on.
through road, but the traffic pattern is
Yes.
Hine to Hill Church.
Yeah.
I understand that it's the through road, but north on Hine.
There's
is
still a lot of
way less
traffic on north. I'm telling you, we're out there working on that road.
Okay.
Cars going down that road.
Well, you can see
All the
it's not
time.
the traffic, you can see the road.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no matter what, the stop sign needs to come off Hill Church.
It's gonna be like Orchard View and Lots. Nobody's gonna stop at it anyhow.
They don't
Orchard-
stop now.
Orchard
We're
View
really
and Vine.
just looking at the liability.
That's
and
why I
the-
thought we'd save the township money and just put a yield sign, which is
How much money?
$135 and that's it.
How much is the stop sign?
We already have it.
Way more.
No, we'd have to get a second.
Wait a
one.
second one.
We gotta get a second one.
But you're saying yield, they're not gonna know what they're yielding for.
Rayburn said a yield would
Put the
cover
sound back
us.
where it was.
I know, that's what I told him already before you walked in. If we put
Because
the
then
yield
we
sign,
have-
it would cover us for any liability if somebody,
We would still have a liability there if we didn't put a second stop sign or.
If you put a yield sign up, Stu, I'm just being the devil's advocate. You put a yield, you're going up, Hill Church.
yeah.
You
So
got
a dead end,
what about the people coming down, coming back? Will they yield or do they just come and go through whatever way they want?
Hines should be able to go through any way they want.
Yeah, but that's
It's
what I
a
mean.
through road.
It don't confuse people. Do you think these same people that are concerned and voicing their opinion, if you had it where you didn't have nothing up and they just come down, they veer off the left, if a car's coming down the hill at Hine Adam, they're gonna cut right in front of them and flow right through there? Or should?
I don't know. And they're the people that are complaining, the ones that live there.
Yeah.
That's who's complaining.
Why don't we just put up signs that says drive at your own risk?
Hey, Stu, is that corner blind? Is coming
No.
north on High?
Tom will take care of the rest.
Tom's radio will ring.
It is coming down Pine.
Is it a blind corner? Like if I'm coming up Hill Church and I meet somebody at High, am I gonna see them?
This is hard to see
It's hard
probably
to
with
see
this
right
stuff
there where
is
Brian's
here
saying.
coming down.
Okay.
But the others all open.
Okay.
So even if we put the stop sign there, people are gonna run it because they can see.
Yeah.
But we don't have our liability for it because we put the stop sign on both sides.
I mean, what I'm looking at
But
here,
even a through street, there are a lot of streets in this township that they go straight, stop at an intersection, go again. Now, it's not an intersection, it's a three-way stop.
I'm just being,
We changed one, was that last year?
I don't think you guys should change stop signs or
Oh,
traffic
yeah, we did.
patterns without.
Our
it
county
coming
sheriff
here.
called us about it.
I think it should come to discussion.
It was in the allotment up at Smithville allotment.
if
So-
we squared this back off.
Never got
instead of
one phone
round,
call
make it
about it.
square, so you have to come up and stop.
so I mean, where the stop sign came out, going south, if you're going north to south on High, and you're saying right there, where all of that shrubbery is,
It's
To
gonna
me-
be gone.
to me, that's the blind spot, right?
And it's gonna be
So-
gone.
And so if you're coming down High and there's no stop sign,
It's a still pretty steep drop.
and then Hill Church is a yield, we have to open that up. And you said you guys are going to.
We are.
But we have, if you're
I
coming
talked
down
to him
High
today
and
and
there's
he
no
wants us to
stop
cut it
sign,
down.
and Hill Church is
So
a yield, you pull out in front of somebody, you might not see them.
You're gonna be able to see everything there now when we cut that. What is that called? Bamboo, whatever.
But it would have to say yield for oncoming traffic, yield for intersection traffic. What would it say? Yield?
It says yield ahead.
Okay.
You always yield to your right. That's what the law says, you yield to your right.
And where are
I
you
can
thinking
put a
of
yield
put
sign on the left side of the road.
both sides? Where are you thinking about putting that yield sign? Down the hill?
Yeah, you gotta have it back away before you get to the intersection.
You
Gotta
need
give
one
them
on
time to
both
slam the
sides.
brakes on and slide in the stone.
Do you have to put them on both sides of the road or?
That's what I said, we can put one on the left side too.
I don't know. I'm indifferent. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say what the residents told me they want. They want a
Okay.
stop sign on both sides of High. That's what they want.
What residents?
I'm not giving names.
One,
One.
Could be one, but it's one that lives there.
There's only one I know that talked to me about.
Well, I talked to that one person today,
No one called
and he
me.
was fine with the yield sign and no stop signs on either directions. If
Listen,
you
there's-
just slow down as you're coming up there, nobody's coming,
Listen,
you can
there's
keep moving.
not enough traffic up there. It's gonna same thing.
There ain't that much traffic.
There's not enough traffic. It's gonna happen just like lots of.
I'll tell you what's gonna happen. You
They are.
put two stop signs
They're
up
doing
there,
it
they're
now.
gonna
Yeah,
be painting on them and stealing them and.
But now that it
Well,
was
let's
moved,
look at it like
we can
this. Let's look at it like this, guys. They're gonna run the stop sign anyway. We need to cover us. What do we have to do to cover us so that they don't say, you guys move stop
You
signs?
guys
it's
do
bad
whatever you
accident."
want, I'll go do whatever you want, I don't care.
Because now that we moved it, we have to resolve it.
Yep. So, stop sign on both sides of Hine. You have to stop at that intersection. Nothing on the Hill Church Hill, and which sounds silly, I know, because Hine's the through street. I get it, but I think because of the hill on Hill Church, that's where the complaints are coming from. Is parking on that
Well, I'll
hill.
tell you right now, they ain't gonna like that sign in their front yard. You'll have the other person in the family complaining.
Well, they should be back pretty far.
Yeah, right about in front of their house.
Right about
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to put a stop sign somewhere in here,
Exactly.
somewhere.
right in front of their house,
Right smack in front of the house.
which they're not used to it, so that'd be a shock.
Can we just get county opinion on this? Call somebody and have them look at this map. So what should we do? Can we do that? I mean-
Sure, we can do it.
You know,
The more firepower you have to show.
I mean, if we're gonna
residents
throw a stop sign in the front of the person's yard, we better say that we didn't just,
But
chat
for
about
now, I think we need to put the one stop sign back where it was. I don't think we can leave it there. Where people aren't doing it, they're not even seeing it. I didn't go that way.
What do you mean they're not seeing it?
He said it. They're
They
gonna
drive
go
up the hill,
right.
they can see the stop sign. Nobody stopped at the other stop sign anyways. They run through them all.
Or if we don't want to start the county, you want to give this to the liaison, Randy Pirro, and let him work with Stu on it. Make sure we're covering our bases, make sure we're keeping ourselves out of liability in the future. They can make a decision. You go that route too, because he's not here tonight, so.
No. But the problem right now is we've changed the authority on the intersection.
That's not a problem.
All right, what's our
Do
move?
it. I'm just one vote.
What do we want to do?
I don't want a stop sign on Hill Church.
The worst
It's gotta
case
come up.
scenario, you put the stop sign back and throw a yield sign on Hill Church. You go back.
You could go that route.
Just for right now, do your
Yeah,
research.
You could go that route.
'Cause you
And
put
do
your
that. That's covered you then. You have stop signs on Hine.
Because if Stu and
Yeah.
Rodney are gonna wipe out all that shrubbery, now you got a stop sign to stop that person coming down the hill. You got the yield to honor the people going up. If they gotta go flying up there, the yield, they know they gotta yield when they come up there.
And anybody coming north, they can just like the Autobahn, mash it.
Yep, they could floor it and go straight up the hill.
Well, that'll avoid having to put a stop sign in that person's front yard because they obviously
you
take
could
care of
try
their
it.
property. You
Yeah,
can tell from the aerial
That's
picture. they
pretty
take care of their property.
prestige right there in front of it.
Do they still have those other signs up there? The,
On the corner?
yeah.
in the.
Right by their driveway, I think there's a sign there. Isn't that an arrow sign or something? I'm not sure.
Oh, does that sign say both directions, like at the end of the street?
So he,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
put a
okay.
stop sign in his front yard, even to the right of that, that's even gone.
Oh, so
I
that's
can't remember.
okay. I'm fine
I
with
have to
putting
go
the.
look at it. I have too many roads to remember stuff.
I'm fine with putting the stop sign back on the north side of Hine and putting a yield sign on Hill Church.
That's fine. I think we need to check
What's
to
that?
make sure that's still.
You kind of solved both your problems.
Yes.
Because the guy coming up the hill could keep flowing through it.
And another telephone pole.
Shouldn't it say like yield to the left or something? Not just yield. What do you?
Yield at intersection, yield at
Yield ahead.
yield.
You just need to plan and yield ahead. You gotta be watching to go either direction.
And it would go on the right
The
side of the
person coming
road.
from the north, going north from the cemetery, they don't have to stop or nothing. Hey, there's Andy Parker.
All right, what do we want to do?
Try it. And if it don't work, we'll just end up finding another sign.
Well, if we put the yield sign in, we're gonna have to approve a yield sign.
If you're gonna put that stop sign back over there and not put one over on the other side in the front of their yard, right in front of the house, you better put a yield sign down there.
We're saying. it.
Because that'll cover your butt then if
Okay.
something else happens up there.
All right, let's,
Because all these years, it's been one stop sign and they can come from any direction and collide.
all right, so let's do this. What's your vendor for your yield sign, Stu?
Municipal sign.
Municipal sign, all right.
Yield ahead sign, $135.
All right, Trustee Varian moves to buy a $135 yield sign and post to,
We got the post.
you got to post. All right, sign from Municipal Signs.
and we'll
We got a
put
second.
the stop sign back up where it was at.
Second,
Roll call?
Griffith
yes.
and Barron.
Yes. And then the follow-up to that, we're gonna put the stop sign back on Hine on the north side.
Yep.
And we're gonna put a yield down Hill Church.
Yep,
And
and
we're
we're
gonna
gonna cut
leave-
down all that bamboo.
We're gonna leave the south side of Hine alone for now, right? The south intersection of Hine.
Oh, yeah,
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 we're gonna leave
nothing's
that-
gonna be
nothing's
done on
going
the
there.
other side where Brian's at right
All
now.
right, so that, okay,
Stewie, who was giving you the information on the yield sign?
Stark County Sheriff.
Okay.
okay. All right. I think we go ahead and do that right
That's
away.
why I thought I'd call him and ask him, because they know about it. He popped it up and looked at the intersection and everything right from his car.
Okay.
And we were talking about it, me and him and Rodney.
And clearing the shrubs is still on our list too.
Yes,
Is that,
I got the okay from him today on the phone personally. I
Okay.
didn't want to just
From
go
that-
off of Bob Lemon.
From
I said,
that
I want his number
number.
and name and I want to call him, and I called him and talked to him first.
All right. That'll be
He
nice.
says,
to
yes.
all
overlap.
them are gonna get mowed now.
Yep.
We got a new motor for the boom.
We accidentally mowed the stop sign over.
Oh, boy. All right. Anything else for road?
I think I spent
You,
enough.
thanks.
I do
All
wanna
right. Zoning.
Thanks, Stu and Rodney
Oh, yeah.
for helping us out on the town trees.
Great.
Yeah, there were a lot.
Great. All right. Zoning.
Since last meeting, had 3 permits. On the nuisance side of things, I got a call, well, actually one of the people that came in, over there at Georgetown and 12th Street, the little triangle piece there with the house
Yes.
falling apart. They were concerned because visibility issues. Now, I don't know if it's the county or somebody mows the edge of it, but the rest of it all high weeds and everything.
Okay.
So I did send a letter about that to the property owner. I
Is it a
think
person or a bay?
it's a person. I believe her son was in charge of it, but I don't have an address for him directly. Then over on Midday, got a phone call about furniture and stuff piled up alongside the house, like somebody was cleaning it up. And it's been sitting there for a little while, so I sent them a letter about that as well.
Can we talk a little bit about what the residents were here for? Is there anything that we can do to clarify that?
I did have somebody reach out to me and ask some information, so I'm going to guess that's going to go on Facebook in a post about it as well.
Okay. Because somebody's spreading bad information there,
So,
causing panic of residents.
and in the notice for the hearing, it says 44 South from 30 to the township
So
line,
it's clearly spelled out.
as best as I could.
Notice, yeah.
All right.
But, yeah, and then the meeting for that is next Monday. And we'll have the hearing.
And the fiscal officer did receive the letter that regional planning sent out. I think, Mary, you got a copy of that.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, we got our recommendations from regional planning back on it.
All right.
Other than that, over on Indian Run, we're still waiting on the response from the prosecutor's office. I also reached out to them about the one on Ravenna with the building, because that has gone up for sale now.
Yeah, it's for sale.
Just to
The house
see what we do.
The house and the garage without a permit is for sale. Yep. Is it a Kiko auction or is it listed on MLS? I can't remember.
I think it's listed.
Listed, okay.
I mean, we can't put a lien on it for it.
And as far as what the prosecutor's office told me, no. In the past cases, we talked to them about. But I reached out to them just in case there was something that would come up that we could do something.
Yeah. Check with them again, and getting that answer on Indian Run. Since we had all that rain, you can see probably half or 2/3 of the roof is totally gone in, just the walls standing. And they said we could secure it, but we couldn't board up the door. Well, the door's not even on.
Yeah, doors are wide
So we
open.
can't board up the doorway.
And I did reach out to them, I just haven't heard back yet.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. All right, anything else for zoning?
that's all I got.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, old business, Succo's Farm lease response needed.
Yeah, what, Phil sent me a letter, email wanting to know what the trustees would like to do. And I know we're in the middle of negotiating, but the farmers reached out, wants to know about leasing the land for farming.
Yeah.
And he don't want to make any commitment to you trustees, let him know, like the main area back there for touching that or what's going on before he tells his farmer yes or no, because the farmer's on hold right now.
So the part that's out by Broadway, that field there, beside the house that borders up Broadway, that field had been planted. We don't want them to plant that because they'll be in that field with that
Yeah.
driveway and parking lot.
I kind of figured that one, but I didn't
But
know.
down below, we talked before, I thought at another meeting, that anything they do down there is going to be just around the perimeter.
Like leave us 50 feet or 100 feet on the edges, what do you think?
We said even 30 feet around the edge
Okay,
would be plenty.
Just tell me what you want me to convey. Say
All right,
that
so
nothing
the-
off of Broadway.
nothing off of Broadway, the main parcel, the big parcel,
And
we
the
just need,
perimeter around.
we
the
need 30 feet
50
around it, yep.
Leave 30 feet around it. Just
Yeah, or even 25 feet.
Because I don't see us doing anything in the innards of that
Okay.
this year.
All right.
No.
I
That
think it's
way
gonna
the
be,
farmer would know. Right
that's still a good chunk of land to farm. I hope we can
We
get
could
that.
actually go down even less than that because they won't get down to that second part, which is down there,
Yeah, for a little while.
till the crops will be off by fall. So they could probably, because we're just doing that first phase right now. They could probably still have that bottom field this year, Brian.
You want to say nothing
When
on,
I would say nothing on Broadway.
nothing on
That-
Broadway.
But back in there, once they drive back that right away to get to that back.
That whole thing can be farmed.
Yeah.
I think that's good because even when you walk around it right now, they don't plant right up to the tree
No.
line. They leave a little bit anyway.
Right, so they'll be able to walk around the edge of it.
Okay. That sounds good. All right, do we need to make a motion on that or you got your information you need?
No, I think he'll be okay with it.
All right.
He didn't ask for a resolution or nothing, but
Okay.
that way they know that you've done it. And
Yep.
once he draws up that lease for that farmer,
Okay.
he's gonna draw it up, nothing on Broadway, right off of Broadway. Back
right.
in.
All right, April 28th, Oil and Gas Group will meet at 6 p.m.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that that's what, the group with the oil and gas that we were signed into is meeting. They're discussing the actual proposals that they actually did get received and going to make a decision that night at the group. It happens to be our trustee meeting night, but it's at 6:00. I'm going to make an attempt to go to it, to hear it up until time to break loose to come.
Good.
But they're going to have that meeting.
Is that attorney gonna be there then?
Yeah,
Brian?
see, that's why they have it. And when he's there, he's actually going to be physically there.
So are you able to share that email that we received with him
The from EOG one?
from the EOG one?
Yes.
Okay,
Actually, I already shot that to both Cynthia and him.
okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Great. All right, American Rescue reporting completed March 30th. Future fund reports April.
Yeah, that report I was telling you about that I had worked on now for 4 years, since actually started in 2020. I got the report filed by the March 30th deadline. I didn't get any really response other than I got copies of everything saying that it was submitted. I never got anything saying it was wrong or anything. So then from April 1st through April 30th, you have to do what's called the final completion of where we spent all our money, our American Rescue. I have that report I did on the 14th. And there again, I got on that website and it's not confirming anything. I keep thinking that somebody's going to come in and say, oh, you didn't do something right. But right now I met their deadlines. If I didn't do something right or whatever, it could be the federal government's going to come after me. But I thought I did everything. I hope I never have to do one like this again that will last for 4 years. Equipment that we purchased, we had to wait 2 years for, different things that happen. It's a long time record keeping procedure, but I feel it saved the township residents a ton of money. I believe that we were able to still use our capital funds shared with some of those expenses to get the ambulance and get the road truck. It helped at a time when COVID had just kind of in the heat of it, when we were doing premium pay for our EMS people, that it helped because that was over almost $30,000 there. We were able to buy that fire equipment, hoses, and the tanks that we were able to get. And I wrote it all up and explained it the best I could through the templates that I had there. And no one has said anything, but I meant that deadline. I don't know what will happen because it scares you when it says, well, the federal government is going to evaluate everything. Well, I'm thinking I have explanations for everything I did, and it's documented. I have the paper trail, and it's a 4-year trail. I just hope I never have to do anything like that again. That was I can't imagine how many hours I spent worrying about it and working on it. So hopefully that goes through, but I wanted to let you know it is complete.
All right, thank you.
Wow, I'd never hear him say
I
that.
know. All right, new township business, scheduling audit.
Yeah, the auditor just reached out to me last week. We're in the process now of lining up what they need. The scheduling is going to happen, so I will be starting that process. What you see in the back of the hall here, these boxes are the last of what we had in that storage room that Mary's been helping me with, Sue a little bit, but Mary's been helping me a lot with this. My goal is, I think most everything in here is from 2008 up until 2020. Our goal is to get this stuff reboxed, condensed down, and back out there. And I should have enough shelves to last another 15 years out there with the room I've created.
Great.
With everything we've done. Then you're going to see table set back there for the audit. Then I'll be pulling out 23 and 24 out of my office and pulling out here. That'll be set up. So it's not that all those boxes will be gone for a while, but maybe after June or July, I hope to have that all done.
What is the firm that we're going to have for the audit?
Don't know that yet.
Oh, you don't know?
We
yet?
might have the state auditor.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're the ones that reached out to me. I know that Cliff, did they reach out to you?
Yeah, I called and did my interview already.
Okay, because they reach out to the president, whoever's board president.
Yep, I did a phone interview with the lady. She was real nice.
Okay.
What specifically did she want? Anything?
She asked about fraud, pretty much. That was about 7 questions with the same really outcome.
Yeah.
So they want to. I don't really know the whole purpose, but
Okay.
You'll have an opportunity too when the audit is over. If there's, hopefully there's no findings, they always seem to find a little stuff that they might question how I kept records of it. But there'll always be that opportunity. You trustees can ask for a formal, where they come up and sit down with you, a meeting with
do
them.
like a report.
Yeah, you can do a report if you want to at the end of it.
all right. Stark County Township Association member renewal.
Yeah, this is the time of the year where the Stark County membership, Sue kind of gave that to me the day after I left. We weren't here, but she did call and let me know. Every year is a time where we do all the staff, where we renew our Ohio Township stuff. And give you an example, like Brenda, Cliff, Randy, and myself. We had Stu, Mary, and Sue. And then we had the spouses of anyone which they pay that amount.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I didn't know if you wanted anybody else added to that list. There's the preliminary, what we did last year. And then usually I get a resolution to approve it. And then I take care of the process of preparing the warrant and everything for that.
I think we should add Rodney onto that for this year.
So I thought I was just going to mention that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Rodney.
And I think that's
good to
it.
me.
Yeah.
Add Rodney on.
Yeah.
just do a resolution. I don't know if these are her notes.
That's probably who was on
We
there.
just would have to add Rodney onto it.
All right.
That would be that.
Trustee Varian moves to pay the Stark County Township Association the member renewal for 25-26. We're going to accept it as presented of last year with the addition of adding Rodney.
Griffith seconds.
Roll call.
Griffith,
Yes.
Varian.
Yes.
Brian, when do you need those additional private pay people checked by?
It says sending dues as soon as possible, but no later than May 31st.
Okay.
Do you want it written to Osnaburg Township or do you want it written to Stark County?
Let me see. Last year we wrote them
To the
Stark
county.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Okay. Would you like to talk about park bid pack?
Yes, we're ready for the state grant we received to start the process on Broadway for the Succo's Park. We have to approve we're putting it out for bid, and we're going to ask that this project be broken up into 3 phases. With the first phase, which is the state grant money, which is prevailing wage, to install the driveway, the parking lot in, put up the sign, a permanent sign. And we retain rights for approval of the design of the sign and things like that. But we're going to use a process called design, bid, build. Since we're not builders of parks, we don't really know. We know the parameters here that we want, and that's listed in this packet. And we're going to put it out there for other builders of parks to come back and take the rough framework we're giving them to design what they think it should look like and present it back to us with a bid. And then we'll meet with the top couple. I think we have some deadlines in there. We'll try to have that bid packet back
June 5th.
in June so that we can meet with them the next trustee meeting, interview a couple of them, and then choose one.
Okay.
Sign with them, and by July, they ought to be able to start that project.
Great.
So we would have to take a motion to provide this information to the fiscal officer so he can get it to that formal bid packet to put out there.
Great. I've read over it and it looks great. I wouldn't make any changes. I'm good as it sits.
Okay,
Would you like a motion or would you like me to?
sure. Well, I'll make a motion that we approve to put the Succo's Park project out for bid.
Trustee Varian, second. Roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Okay, I need to ask questions.
Okay.
What we're preparing is this bid package. We're duplicating this, putting our name and stuff on wherever it needs to be.
And I have some other documents that go with the bid packet I'll get to you, Brian.
And there's a
then
map.
This was the principle of it.
Well, that's why I say
There's
that
a
map, when I looked at it, was just a rough map, but I
Yep.
didn't know how involved that could get involved.
And you're going to want to share partial numbers so they can.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. There's a lot of stuff too.
Let's pick a
that.
parcel number on that
Yep.
packet.
And then the other thing is how does this grant work? How are we getting the 150? Does it go right to whoever is awarded the bid, or how is this going to work?
We can define that when we meet with that contractor. The state will, as soon as we submit bills, they'll reimburse us. Or if we want paid up front, they have some other hoops you have to jump through.
Hoops.
Yeah. But a lot of it is the contractor. They may be willing to complete the project and bill us for 30 days, like that, so we can get the money from the state.
Is
So
there
we'll
a
define
document,
that
is there
later.
a document the state has that it formally says we're going to get $150,000? I mean, right now, all I've heard is you said that it's been approved. What document do they give us to say?
They sent us an email telling us that we're awarded, but we have to submit the application, and we can't do that without the design drawing. So that's why we're putting this out for bid.
Then you assume right now that we will get something in writing?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And we needed the lease on the property, which we completed too. So
All right.
I've been in contact with the state back and forth, and we don't have a deadline. We just have to have the project completed. Or the funding just sits there, it's held for us. If we don't do it and use it, we lose it. So they're not going back and re-awarding anyone. It's just set aside for us, I guess.
Okay, anybody else have, yes,
I
Mr.
do.
Lowry.
I did, under new business, I know that everyone in this room, I know Tom, Chief Ruskin knows this. The fraud training is going to be part of that audit. I forgot to bring that up when we talked about the audit.
Okay.
I know the names of people that don't have it done. I know I've actually got the report of certificates. I know Chief Ruskin is working on some group training he's doing. I asked that whenever we schedule this audit, whether it's going to be in May, I want that stuff before May 1st if possible. Because anyone can go out. I know Mary's going to do it at her zoning meeting. She talked about they can show that 8-minute video on there and they could sign off a sign-off sheet. As long as I have that document, because the auditor, pretty much the first thing the auditor asked me when they said they were going to schedule is, how do you handle your fraud information? And and when I was down in my training, they brought this up. Another thing in the future they're going to demand is cyber training, that everybody that's on the computers in our facilities, anything, will have to have complete cyber training.
Where is the 8-minute video?
Yeah.
I thought you already did
It's
it.
on the auditor, Ohio auditor.
I did. I think I took a different class. I didn't do the 8-minute video. I took a class. It was like 7 hours. I was on my computer all day.
Yeah, it's an 8-minute thing. You can do it on your.
Click on it.
You can do it on
Where
your
do I
phone.
find it?
It's on the Ohio auditor. You'll
Okay.
see it. It's in a big bold. You click on it.
Yeah.
Once you click on it, if you don't have a way of printing a certificate, you could save it and then email it to me and I'll print it and put it into a file.
Yeah. What I took was a records
Yeah,
training.
this is,
Yeah, I took a records training.
yeah.
You have my records training. Yeah.
Record training.
I can do that
This is
week.
an 8-minute,
All right.
8-minute at a time to meet the auditor.
We can do it.
It actually is really short. And
Brenda did it. It wasn't
I
that big a
expected
deal,
it
was
to
it? I
be-
didn't think, Stewie, Rodney,
Yeah, we all do.
all these guys did it for me and I don't think it was too painful for them.
All right, Brian, anything else?
Yeah, one
I got
other
one.
thing.
Okay, go ahead, Brian, then we'll go Stu.
The copier company that we have reached out to us last year just to see if there's any concerns or anything that we contract with them on our rental of our copying. That's Best Copier Technology. Just so happened I got hit with the copier consultants. They wanted an opportunity to show what they had to offer. I met with him just the other day. He's putting a little proposal together. I know that from the fiscal office, and unless Chief Ruskin would say any different, I like dealing with who we are. Vince, the president and owner of the company of Best Copier Tech, has been great to us. We originally made purchases to buy the copiers that we have now, and then you're under contract year to year after the 2-year contract was up, and we've only had to do one set of repairs, and they pay for everything. And the copiers that I have here now, Vince immediately, when he knew that someone was talking to us, came here in person, said, Brian, I could try to sell you guys new copiers and upgrade, but I don't see any reason. The copier company, this Blake represents, said there's no reason they would have to sell us either. They could maintain what we already have, but he's working a proposal, but I want to let you know that in case you get talked to about it, because these guys used where I worked at my other facility as I see you work here, and also our churches, the people that use them there. I don't know if that's how they got my name or not, but I just wanted to make you aware of that.
Okay.
But you're happy with what we have.
I am definitely happy with what we have.
Stu.
Andy Parker was watching the meeting. Heard us talking about Belford.
Okay.
Said to let you guys know that he is willing to donate his time and equipment to put that in.
Wow,
No charge.
that's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
That's a real big deal.
Let me talk to Keith Bennett, just to find out for
Yeah.
sure.
I want to find out too. They had to know this when we had that meeting, when we had that lunch. They had
That's
to know
really-
they were gonna do.
I also, I did mention it earlier, but Chief Ruskin kind of reminded me when he was thanking Rodney and Stu about things they need backup on. Think about all the times those guys, the fire department gets called out of an emergency. They don't know if it's a township road, if it's a county road or whatever.
Right.
And your road department's out there backing them up, helping cut up trees, putting signs up all hours of the night. They did that numerous times.
A lot over 15 years.
And I just think about, we don't get compensated or anything. Are we gonna say, no, we're not gonna do that no more? Just like they're saying, no, we're not gonna help you with these culverts. I feel it's kind of cold.
The only thing they did was they brought those cones, a bunch of new cones and some
Yeah.
road closed signs to
Okay.
us, which was nice. But they got
Yeah.
a lot of those and they gave them out to a lot of different
Um,
townships
That's
and places.
that's really awesome that he'd offered to do that. If you don't mind responding and just saying thank you so much, we'll be in touch, just so we get back to him.
I will.
He might still be watching.
And I asked him, I said, could you please pick a day and we'll go out there and look everything over
Yeah,
and see if he can come up with like numbers so we still know what it
so
would
we know.
cost.
Yeah.
Well, costs keep changing dramatically fast.
I know,
So
I know.
it could be
Okay.
part of a timing issue.
All
But
right,
I'll make
him,
that phone
him
call.
saying that, I mean,
that's
it could possibly be done this year versus
yeah.
if you had to pay all that labor and
Yeah.
equipment and everything.
Anything else for the good of the meeting tonight? All right, Trustee Varian moves to adjourn and pay bills.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
We'll call.
Baron
Yep.
Griffith.
Yes.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate all your work. We got a lot done today.
Evidently, we kicked on then, huh?
We did, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Seen that. He was watching.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very nice.
I'm giving you a bunch of stuff back here. I've got signed checks.
But maybe if anything, if they won't do it,
Oh,
maybe
next
they'll
one.
be willing to donate some of the.
Hey, the
Yeah, it'd be nice.
fire station's looking good
Anything would help.
over in Louisville.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing that gets us. The
That was crazy to drive over there and see all those trusses that fell.
Oh, friend of the county, like dropping all this
They were
stuff,
working
doing all
on
these
every
culverts
farm.
for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of the money that's
Sometimes I drive